What's up, everybody? John Eric Poli here with My MMA News, and today's guest is coming off a unanimous decision victory over Kay Hansen at UFC 270. I'm pleased to be joined by Jasmine Jasudavicius over the phone. Jasmine, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate the time, and thanks for doing this.
Oh, of course. No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. You're always welcome here. And now, Jasmine, before we start breaking down this victory, I do want to start with fight week itself, because for you, right, it was your first full fight week in the UFC. It was your first weigh-in, your first ceremonial weigh-in. Just what was that whole entire week like going through that in the UFC?
Fight week was awesome. It was obviously very busy with all like the media, extra media stuff, but it was good. Like I felt great during fight week. The UFC takes care of you so well. Like everything is super organized, and it was really cool getting all my gear and like seeing my last name on it. It was just a great experience.
And then one other thing too, right before we start breaking down this fight that I wanted to ask about the lead up was just fight night itself, right there on Saturday. Just how were you feeling on that day as you got ready for your first UFC fight? Were there any jitters, or were you pretty much for the most part calm, cool, and collected the whole time?
No, I was definitely nervous, but kind of like I accepted that I was going to be nervous, so the nerves weren't so like crippling, you know? It's like I understood the concept of it, like, okay, I'm going into enemy territory, the girl's from hometown, this is a huge card, it's a pay-per-view event. Like, if I really thought about it, I could definitely make myself nervous, but I was choosing to just like roll with everything and just enjoy it. So I really enjoyed the process. I didn't mind all the cameras in my face, and I feel like from fighting on Contender Series, it really got me prepared for this debut.
All right, well, now let's start breaking down this performance here. So we'll start with the opening round, and you really set the tone early, right? You were able to stuff a few of her takedown attempts real early on. You got one of your own. It was a very good opening round for you. Just how important was it to kind of set that tone and provide a good opening 5 minutes to kind of, not only ease into the fight, but kind of settle your nerves down as well for being out there for the first time in the octagon like that?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, the first minute is super nerve-wracking because you don't really know what's gonna happen, and she shot right away, so I was like, okay, I guess we're wrestling, like no big deal. But yeah, it was once you kind of get into the mess of things, you don't really think of it, and you're just going on reaction and what I've done all camp in the gym.
And now in the second round, right, it was kind of similar. There was a lot of work on the ground being done there. You landed some really nice elbows, too, from the top position there. So just kind of take us through that round a little bit and how you thought it went. And I also want to get your thoughts, too, on the referee's decision to stand you guys up there. I know with about, 2 minutes left in the round, the ref made the decision to put you guys back up on your feet. So just what was your thoughts on that round in general?
In that round, I threw a body kick, and she ended up catching it and putting me down. And when my back first hit the mat, I was like, oh shit, and I just told myself, okay, stay calm, you've been here before. I didn't want to overreact and give her my back or something like that. So I ended up just getting my butterfly hooks in and then sweeping her. And then after I swept her, I was just in the moment, I was having a lot of fun. And I was like, I think I said to her, now we're in trouble or something like that, just spicing the fight up a little bit. But, yeah, I was able to get a little bit of ground and pound off. Not as much as I would like to. I was being very safe. I didn't want to open up. But yeah, I was trying to advance position, and she was the one holding me there with her legs, I was in her guard. She was the one keeping me there. So, I was unhappy that the ref stood us up, but I wasn't going to dwell on it. After it happened, I wasn't going to think about it and let it affect my performance. I just said, okay, well, I guess we're standing now.
Yeah, so you mentioned there, right, about how you wanted to kind of be smart, not do anything too risky and put yourself into a bad position. Was that kind of, I guess, the mindset then for that final round? Because, that was a very close round. I believe two of the judges gave it to Kay on the scorecards there. And it seemed like you were a little bit hesitant, you could say a little bit to a degree, because it seemed like you didn't want to do anything, to put yourself in harm's way, being up 2-0 on the judges' scorecard. So was that the mindset that you kind of had going to that last round? Just get out of there. You have 2 rounds in the bag. You have the win locked up as long as nothing bad happens.
Yeah, that was exactly it. Just be patient and just be clean for the rest of the round. I figured the best way of her beating me was, catching me when I'm out of position, or her taking me down and putting me into a unpredictable situation. But yeah, I just figured I gotta stay solid, stay clean for the rest of the fight, and it's in the bag. I didn't want to open up too much that round.
Yeah, great performance, and I'm sure you're very happy with it. And there was a great moment afterwards in the fight too, right? You're there in the octagon, of course, all smiles, hugging your coaches and everybody, just very happy in that moment. And then Joe Rogan comes over to interview you right there in the UFC octagon, holding that UFC microphone. What was that moment like for you? Because I'm sure every fighter in your shoes, where you're making a UFC debut, you grew up, you're watching the UFC, you've seen so many fighters over the years get to be interviewed by Joe Rogan in the octagon. So I'm sure to have that experience was definitely surreal for you.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I think Joe Rogan's like a really cool guy, and yeah, just having that moment was neat. Like, you think about your UFC debut, and then when it actually happens, it's like you're almost watching it from overhead. Like, you're just sorry, I got the tickle. You're just in like a euphoria that you're just going through the motions. You're not like actively thinking in your brain. So it's just like, it's funny having that, and like having the cameras on you. Well, you're kind of like crazy, but yeah, it was cool meeting Joe Rogan, and I was really happy with my performance.
Yeah, great moment. And speaking of great moments, I did want to ask you about returning back to Canada there after the win, because we spoke after you got your contract in the Dana White Contender Series, and when we talked there, you were talking about how it was very important for you to put your home gym of Niagara Top Team on the map, that it's such a small gym. And I mean, yeah, you did do that when you did earn your UFC contract, but I mean, this had to be something else, right? Competing at a big UFC event like this, going out there, getting a win, coming back to the gym. Just what was that experience like when you returned home and got to return to the gym and see everybody?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like, we at Niagara Top Team, I feel like we're really like, we're like a family there, and like regardless of if you're a pro or if it's like, say you're just your kids in the kids class or whatever, like everyone is super close knit, and it's so nice having like the little girls in the programs, like almost like looking up to me and like seeing what like what their coach is doing, and it's just like super inspiring for me. I love seeing the young girls in the practices. Like, it's so nice. Like, yeah, so Niagara Top Team has obviously like blown up since my fight, and looking forward to seeing more people and like meeting the people that have like messaged me and just said, oh, we're behind you. And it's really cool. The support in the Niagara region is amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of happy people with the performance, including yourself. And one other thing now, before we wrap things up here, I did want to ask you about. I know we mentioned Niagara Top Team there. Did you do your whole training camp there? Because when we did do the interview at your Contender Series, when you were talking about how you did train a lot at Niagara Top Team, but then you went out and spent some time at Syndicate MMA in Las Vegas there to get some extra work in, and also do some work with some other high-level female athletes. So for this fight, did you do that same exact route, or did you mostly just stick in Niagara Top Team?
I was at Niagara Top Team the whole camp. I did go out a little bit early, just in case there was any issues with the border. So I got like a prep before the fight. I got a practice in with the girls at Syndicate. But then after my fight, because I took no damage, I was still in Vegas until like when yesterday. Yesterday morning I flew out. So on Tuesday I was able to go in and get another practice in. And so yeah, it was nice seeing them, and I miss those girls. They're amazing girls, and but yeah, it was sweet. I got a little bit of work with them, not too much though.
All right, Jasmine, thanks so much for the time here today. One last thing before we roll out. You want to go ahead, plug your social media, management. I don't know if you have any coaches or teammates, whoever you want to give a shout out to. Go ahead and do so. Floor is yours.
Yeah, so my social media is Jasmine Jasudavicius, and yeah, come by Niagara Top Team and say hi to us, and shout out to my coaches and my training partners. They're the best in the world.
All right, Jasmine, appreciate the time here today, and just wanted to go ahead and again, one last time, congratulate you on a great victory, great performance. Really looking forward to see what you do here in your UFC future. And to everybody that's out there that watched today's interview, if you liked it, please make sure to go to the bottom, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Go to MyMMANews, to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter accounts. Give us a like and a follow. And if you want to find me on Instagram or Twitter, I'm at John Eric Poli. We'll see you later, everybody.